Hi everyone, welcome back into the studio. I promised some of you a while ago that I was going to show you some framing ideas. So every once in a while I want to pop in one of these small, quick little videos on how to create a frame, because we're a professional gallery and we do the majority of the frame, about 80% of the frames and stuff here into our gallery, and with the paintings we create ourselves. So I want to show you. Now this is a painting that I just finished in one of my online classes, and a portrait, and then so I wanted to take her and turn around and build this frame here, and so I wanted to show you, how you go about creating a frame and stuff like this. This is actually it's what I call a modular frame. It's put together with all different kinds of molding pieces, and let me show you that. So here is an end cut of the frame. And you can see that I put it together here. If we look at this, it has a fabric, what we call a linen liner. This is called a linen liner. And then it has one piece of molding here that's a little bit different. Then it has this piece of molding, and then it has a wood blank. Now these wood blanks that you get, they're like this. I adhered some of the fabric on this side so you can see what it's like. But it is, and it's still a little wet, not quite dry. But I wanted to show you this. This is a wood blank. These are very inexpensive. They're predetermined widths. You can just buy them just like this. It's not expensive at all. A normal frame that's like this, if you go to a frame shop, you're looking at $250, $250 easy for that, depending upon how much you're going to choose inside of that molding. This particular frame here I built in our frame shop here for about $30. So $35 depending on how good you are with your cuts and planning your cuts, but we'll do more of that later. But so I take this blank, and see, then you can take the fabric here, and this is just normal linen fabric, and you get it in all different kinds of colors, all different kinds of weaves and everything, so that it'll so you can put all different kinds of patterns. And we buy it when we get it. We buy big long rolls of it because we build a lot of frames and stuff here, but it comes in all different kinds. And let me just reach over back here and grab some. I love this one. I use this type of linen a lot when I do elegant florals and stuff, if I want to do a frame for flowers and stuff like that. And I just did a western, and just framed a western with this one, which has a little bit more texture and stuff to it, and it's a nice fabric to do that. So if you're like me, you'll go out there and start finding fabrics that you like for those liners to line it with. But let me show you how we do it. Okay, so it all depends. Now you could adhere this down. If I take just a brush, now this is a sealer. This is multi-surface sealer. So you could use your sealer not only for prepping your wood, but you can also use it to glue down fabric onto a linen liner. Now I don't use those sprays. I don't use tacky sprays or anything like that, because they're not completely permanent. Okay, and changing weather conditions and stuff like that can sometimes cause them to peel and bubble. What I like to do is glue it down permanent. So this frame and this linen liner here is going to last hundreds of years if you really want to think about it. But I take some of this. If I want if you don't want that to soak through, you can just put a light coat of this down so it doesn't, so nothing's going to soak through, and then you can press your fabric into this just like this, and it doesn't soak through, and this glues down, and so you still have the feel of everything with the fabric. Okay. But for ourselves, from what we do here at the gallery, is we like that linen. We like it to actually, it looks just like it's a normal linen and stuff here, but we like it to actually be waterproof and protective too. So we don't ever want that fabric to become discolored or anything like that. So what we do then is we increase the amount of sealer that we put down. I really put like a lake of it down here like this. Okay, because the sealer is going to dry absolutely clear, and what I want it to do is soak through. So I'm going to push it down like that. You can see it start to soak through, and I'm going to paint it on the other side just like this. This is how we do it in this, and it makes the liner, when this dries, and it takes a good 24 hours for this to dry absolutely clear. It'll dry absolutely clear, but from now on, that linen is also completely protected. So when it is dry, this is what it looks like when it's dry. It's back and it's absolutely clear and it's a beautiful. But you could put paint on this and then wipe it off. Nothing's going to damage it. So we like the linen to be protected like that. And so what I do is once you have that particular board, that board is done, then we trim off the excess of the, around the excess here, off of the fabric off, okay? And then what we do is you pick out the molding. So we have the blank, we put down the linen liner on it, the liner here for this that goes out to the edge. You can kind of see a little bit where it was there. But then the edge, the absolute edge of that wood is covered up by other pieces of molding. Here, you just kind of put all these other little pieces of molding together that kind of make the edge of the frame here. Now, we paint them and decorate those moldings in all different kinds of ways. On this particular one here, I took some of the colors that are out of the portrait here, and in this instance, I painted, this was a piece of wood molding that's out here, and I painted it first with a color medium beige. I didn't stain it, even though it looks stained. I didn't stain it. I painted it medium beige. Then I took some of the colors out of her hair, the burnt sienna and stuff, and just glazed over it several times and created that particular color. So I have a piece of finished molding here of that color, and I go ahead and varnish it also. I varnish it and finish it all off. I finish them all off in big 8-foot sections. And I do the same thing here. This was a piece of molding here. You get this. This molding that I have here is 4 foot, and it cost me, I think it was $2 at the local home store. And so I have all different kinds of them. They make all different kinds of width. And I painted this with a gold, with a heritage gold, which was called true gold, and a little bit of burnt sienna, a little bit of this color. So they went together. And then I varnished it. And so it's all together. So then I take this piece and I take this piece here, and then I put them together. I just put them together. I put a little bit of glue. Now the glue that I use for everything in framing and stuff when I'm going to put those is the Type Bond 3 Ultimate Wood Glue, which is indoor and interior and exterior, waterproof and everything. It's a fantastic glue. I've used it for cabinets, everything. And I put down a little bit of glue, and then I use these. You can get these right on, at your home store or on Amazon or anything. I just buy these things by bucket loads of them because we use them for everything. Put down a little glue. Write down a little glue, and then put this piece on one end here and clamp it, and then same goes over here with this one over here. You put it on and you clamp it. You let that dry 24 hours. Now you have the actual frame itself, how you're, and what you're going to do. And like I say, I build them in big things of molding like this in big 8-foot long sections, and then I cut it to the lengths and stuff that I want to use, for a particular frame. We'll talk more about that, but hopefully some of this, there's thousands of these little edge types of moldings that you can use and put things together to to make frames. Making frames is not that difficult. You can go get all these parts. It's just, start thinking about how you're going to put some of this stuff together, but there's lots of ideas out there of putting stuff together. So I got this, this piece here, and I got this, like, for example, this piece here. And what really tells you the quality, and let me just tell you what the quality is, what a good framer always looks like, the quality of it, is the corners, okay? The corners, that's where people will have mistakes, and you can always tell if it's a professional frame job or if it's, one that needs a little bit more practice, okay? So it's the beauty of the corners that you're going to have here, and especially with the linen one, if you can make it just that linen just almost disappear. So what we do is we cut the 45s on a saw. We have a saw that cuts the 45. And then what makes this absolutely perfect, you can see it's a perfect cut to the fabric and to that joint there. There's no fraying or anything. Part of that is because the fabric is glued down. The other part is we use a super sharp, what's called a guillotine cutter. And they cost about, to get a machine like that costs, depending on where you get it, between $100 and $150. But it is, if you're going to build frames yourself, it is essential because it makes absolutely perfect frames all the time. 45 joints that are just perfect, okay? As a matter of fact, when you look at it, so I run these through the guillotine cutter, and then it makes an absolutely perfect here, 45, that the seam just almost disappears on there. So it is, that's very important. Now I'll put the links to some of the different things and some of the different systems that I use down there into the video description for this particular frame. And please remember, we build all different kinds of frames, all different kinds of ways here. But for a bigger frame like this, this is a real nice way, okay? So then we join it together. And again, I join it together. We put it together heavily with this kind of glue. After it's put together like this, I mean, we finish off all parts of it and stuff. It's ready to go together. We put the glue on it, and then we use what is called a band clamp here. Let me just grab this. It's kind of unruly here for this. But this mess, this tangled mess, is one of the greatest tools you could ever use in a frame shop. It's called a band clamp, okay? And basically it has these little corner things here. And what happens is frame goes in like this, and it has a little cutout there for the point, so it gets a magnificent glue joint every single time. And so that just goes together like that, those corners, and then it goes around, and this clamp is going to pull it all together to get a perfect joint. And it has a little screw end on here that just pulls it together, and it makes a perfect joint every single time. And so this one's by DeWalt. It costs about $29 or something like that is what we have. We have several of them around here, so we can do several frames. We've done all different kinds of ways to make big frames. And, you know, we have a machine that shoots a little pin into the corners. You know, we could use that on smaller frames and stuff. But when we get to bigger frames, heavier frames, we go ahead and glue them together. That glue is really important to keep the longevity to your frame. So we glue it together, we let that dry 24 hours, and then the final thing that we'll use, and I won't show you here too much, I'll just tell you about it, what we use, but it makes the ultimate joint, and this is what's called a Kreg Jig. And this one is about $20 or so, but it shoots in what's called a pocket screw, and pocket screw technology is fantastic, especially for building frames and putting things together. There's nothing stronger than a pocket screw, and which I absolutely love. And basically, you drill one side. This thing goes on. You clamp it into place, and you drill. Here has for 2 holes. It goes through, and it will join the 2 parts of your frame here. Your frame will be joined together onto the back side by a pocket screw, and it is a fantastic system. So the back of this one here, I don't want to move it because it's a big pain, but the back of this one here is all joined on all the corners by glue and then pocket screws, and that makes it indestructible. It's never going to go anywhere. So you never have to worry about this frame falling apart. So the linen liner is protected by the sealer, and the whole frame here. I mean, something can spill on the frame or something like that. Everything cleans off. It has the same, because we finish it with the same varnish that we finished this painting with, so it all has exactly the same sheen. So one doesn't shine more than the other or anything like that. It's a beautiful system to put it all together. Now we do other things on the other kinds of frames, and so hopefully if you like it, if you'd like to see some of these ideas, because we have all kinds of ways in which we do it, we'll show you some of these ideas. If you like it, hit that like button down there. Those of you that are in our memberships and stuff, go over into the memberships. There's, like I say, that bigger, longer video there where I show you the guillotine cutter, I show you all this stuff, and I show you how we cut the 45s, and I show you all different kinds of moldings and stuff you can put together. So that video is over into the memberships part of it, okay? And then we'll do some more frames. I'll show you how to make some small, easy frames for under $6, $5, $6. And the big thing is, guys, the big thing is when you're building a frame like this and you're the artist, you can do a beautiful frame that matches your artwork. You're not at the, and it's not hard. It just takes you you need to get a couple simple tools. And then the other thing is ideas. And so hopefully we'll come out with some of these ideas and start sharing them and show you how you can make inexpensive, beautiful gallery frames and, you know, that complement your artwork, okay? So hit that like button and, you know, go check out some of the other videos that we have, and, you know, and I'll show you some more frame videos. If you leave me a comment and tell me and ask me, we'll show you some more framing videos and ideas in the very near future, okay? Thanks very much for joining me, and hopefully give it a try. It's not hard. It really isn't. And I'll see you guys on the next one.